afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm wondering, how well do you know yourself? Do you have maybe a hidden skill or a talent which actually could be monetized and you could make lots of money? Well, guess what? Today I have a very special guest with me, Simone Vincenzi, and I hope I said the name right. So Simone Vincenzi, he will actually explain to us today how we can monetize our skills and talents in order to build our businesses based on 4 pillars. Welcome, Simone. I'm so happy to have you on my show.
Thank you for inviting me. It is an absolute pleasure to be here.
That's wonderful. Did I say your name right way?
I was perfect. That was perfect. I know you rehearsed it for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Not hours, a little bit. Well, you know, you and I, we have such unique names that actually people sometimes say them differently. And I know I was so guilty sometimes calling you completely different names because when I voice type messages,
well, I've been called worse in my life. So sometimes by my wife. So I'm okay with the way you pronounced it. And it's so funny because in Italy, Simone, in the way it's spelled, is one of the few countries or the only country where it's a male name. In a lot of other countries, people will read it Simone, like in France or in Germany, and it's actually a female name. So sometimes I will go to meetings and then people would expect like a beautiful woman. And then there's like this little Italian dude that comes in.
1 second.
Very, very disappointing, I know, but I'm a man. What can I say?
And what I can say that you, even though maybe your height is not as mine, 5'11", but you know your energy is huge and your positivity is always overflowing. You're like the fountain of energy, and I love the way how every time we meet, we just laugh about this. How we
Absolutely. I always say to myself, size doesn't matter. Makes me feel better. Whether this is true or not, I'll let other people to judge.
Let's move on. I mean, you know, it's about 4 pillars. It's about self-discovery.
Well, that's not the kind of show. Okay, all right. So I'm the wrong one. Bye.
It's all right. It's all right. Well, actually, we have Howard joining us, and he says, "Hi, Olga. Hi, Simona." There we go. Hello, Howard. It's good to see you. And I wonder, Howard, what skills do you have, which actually you are thinking maybe you could start monetizing from today? So, Simone, first of all, Simone, excuse me. First of all, I would love to find out, how did you come to the point of being expert in this field? I mean, how did you discover yourself being so cool? Because, I mean, all your tech is phenomenal. I checked it out. I even signed up for a webinar. Today at 8 p.m., I'm going to your webinar. I received a text message, and I'm like, wow, it's mind-blowing. But I want to know, how did you come up to this stage of you knowing what you want to sell, what you're best at, and then making it so hunky-dory?
Well, 8 years ago, let's start with that. I started like everyone else, not having a freaking clue about what I was going to do and what I was doing. My background is from the catering industries. No, I don't have any business background. I used to, like any good Italian, you know, you come to the UK. What do?
You become a chef?
A waiter. I didn't like working in the kitchen.
All right.
But I was exactly working in a restaurant. That's what Italians do when they go and invade other countries. We work in the kitchen and we work in restaurants. But actually, I loved working in restaurants. I absolutely loved it, and it was an obsession for me. Everything I do in life is an obsession. Either is an obsession or I don't do it at all. And by the age of 19, I was already managing my first Michelin star restaurant, and I started working in a restaurant when I was 14. There was not much money in the house. My parents split up, so I wanted to do something to earn some money. And then I came to the UK because I got recruited to work in a Michelin star restaurant in Notting Hill in London. And it was the manager, the owner of the restaurant, that one day said to me, "I think, Simone, you're a bit wasted here. You can do much more with your life. There is something in you." And you know, sometimes in life I don't know if that ever happened to you, but you meet some people that can see in you what you don't see yet from yourself. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that was that moment for me. And that's why I started attending training courses, going to seminars and going to events. And this is like an all new world opened up for me.
Oh yeah. Yes.
So at the beginning, it was just like literally trying everything. I'm always kind of person who wants to take action, always want to try, always want to do something new. And with my business partner, we did our very first event when we were 20. I think we were both 22.
Oh no, this is just unacceptable. Seriously?
Yeah, we did a very first event. We had it was in a farm because we didn't have any money to pay for a venue. We found this farm, we call Acne City Farm, and the room was called the straw bale room. So there is like straw bale, there were pigs around, smells of shit everywhere. It was literally like the perfect seminar venue. We spent 2 months marketing that bloody event. 2
Oh
months.
God.
At the end, we had 4 people. Come on.
Simona, it's painful.
Two were speakers. There we go for the night. One was my business partner's father. And the other one was the only person who actually came to the bloody event, which we taped at the chair. We said, no, you're not leaving this room, you're staying here.
Oh my God.
And that was the start of the
Wow.
journey.
I mean, who comes up with the idea to do an event in a farm? And then honestly, I feel for you. I really feel for you. You spend 2 months advertising and marketing that out, and to have only 4 people. That's like me.
Yeah.
My first ever event, Simona, I had 1 person.
Yeah.
And I remember when that person arrived, I was like, well,
And you feel so bad.
I know.
Like, this is what I want to do is like a hole coming out from the ground. I want to disappear right now.
You just want to melt down.
Yep.
That's it, exactly. And I remember I was like, well, I guess you will have a really productive one-to-one. And it's what I've done. So what do you do? Did you do the same thing or like?
Pretty much. I mean, I've been in countless events where I had, so I do an average of about 200 events a year with my company.
Oh.
And there are many events where sometimes I was the only one. Even someone in the audience that decided, because when you're running free events, you know, there will be like maybe 10 people that register and 2 people that turn up. I think I had 5 people registering for that event. And I was the only one in the room. I had a good party for one.
Wow, it's painful. I mean, when you want to
Yes.
give so much value and you found something, a message within yourself, and you want to give back, and then you see nobody is there. I mean, it's
Yep.
heartbreaking. It's daunting. It just puts you off, and you don't want to do that. And I wonder, we have actually quite a lot of people here, and they're saying hellos and hi, and even hola Maria. There we go. So it's wonderful. I wonder how many of you actually, all of you who joined us, have you been to events only by yourself? Or have you done an event and you were just by yourself? Or how many people did you have on your first event? Really curious to know. But yes, so how did you end up from, having just 4 people at your first event in a farm next to pigs to actually right now running 200 events in a year? I mean, do you even sleep and like have normal life?
You see this?
Yeah, but it looks good.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Isn't it
I need some Botox there.
Is it your wife taking care of you? Just making sure.
So, I mean, it is about becoming relevant and always improving your skills. Now, I made a mistake at the beginning because I started attending all these events and I got really into becoming a coach because everyone was talking about becoming a coach. And I felt that it was a big passion that I had about helping people. So it made sense to start a career for me. But no one told me that, no one would hire a 22-year-old life coach
I know.
for an obvious reason. You don't have enough life experience to be a damn life coach. So, but no one told me that when they sold me that course. So after a year of really trying hard and not getting anywhere, I said, well, who can I help? Yeah. And I went into schools. And I started contracting with different companies organizing courses in different schools. And at one point, I was working about 150 schools every year. that I built up with the contracts and the connections that I made. And it took me about 2-3 years. And that was the launch pad of my career, because suddenly at that point, people took me seriously.
Right.
And in the meanwhile, we were still running the evening events at least twice a month or 3 times a month with my business partner. So the daily work in schools, that was paying my bills. And also that was helping me become better at the skills of public speaking and running seminars.
Yeah.
Because the fact is that if you can handle an audience of young people,
Oh, yes.
every time you step into an audience with adults, it's like, this is a piece of cake. At least this time I'm not risk someone to throwing a chair at me. Because
Exactly.
might be bored, but when young people, they have no filters. If they don't like you, they tell you.
Yeah, that's true.
Powerful ways.
That is so true. But you know what I'm wondering? When you said, and then all of a sudden people start working with me and all these companies, now we kicked off. Do you think that was a crucial point in your confidence? Because what happens very often, people start doing something and they have a big imposter syndrome, and you think, yeah, but there's so many experts in this field. There's so many, I know, Reiki practitioners. There's so many coaches. There's so many Zumba teachers. There's so many whatever else. And who am I to enter this field? Who am I to teach something? So at what point do you think your confidence flipped from who am I to, hey, look at me, listen to me, I've got lots of value.
You know what? I can't really relate with imposter syndrome. And the reason why is because I never thought something or talked about something that was out of my depth.
Good.
So everything that I was coaching, even if I was 22, everything I was working with people is something that I knew I have done in my life. So I had the confidence of saying, I can help you with that bit. It's not much, but that bit I can do it. And no one can say I can't. And also, before actually charging for my first client, I did about like 120 free coaching sessions with people.
120, that's a good number.
Because I wanted to become good. Like at the moment I was charging someone, I was going to charge someone with the confidence, say, you can pay for my service. Of course, the first client paid me, I think, like 30 quid. With the first paying clients after 120 coaching sessions. But then immediately I had the confidence to literally after a month to move to 50 quid an hour.
Good.
Then 75, then 100. And then I've been to £100 an hour for a few years. And then I immediately went from £100 an hour to £500 an hour and then to £1,000 an hour.
Yeah.
But I think that the imposter syndrome comes with people are not comfortable in what they're doing. And they don't have enough proof that they can do it.
Yes.
And so every time I'm never going out of my depth when I'm charging a client, because it's something that I've always either done for free for someone else or that I've done enough experience to then be confident in charging. But I know everyone has a different experience with this. I can share what's mine and what I did.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I love that. I think you're so right. And even yesterday, actually, I had a session with a client about, I'm not there yet. And, who am I? I just recently qualified. And one of the things which we do with my clients, I say to them, let's go out and let's compare you to other people who are average to you, right? You just qualified, but you already qualified versus somebody who doesn't even know anything about that. Right? You already have some skills and some knowledge and some theory, and other people don't. So can you help somebody at this mini level, don't help somebody, from the level of Tony Robbins or somebody like a guru, right? But help from your level, somebody who just doesn't know anything. And as you level up, as you said, as you were growing, as you were becoming more confident, then you can help others. And it's quite interesting when people do that. And I even say, go and sign up to have coaching who actually just like you, just qualified, and see how more powerful you are comparing to them. And then you will feel how much better you are.
There is nothing more powerful than the feedback of a client. Because when you're working with someone, they are going to give you the confidence to say, for you to say, I can do this. And that's why I'm a big believer on putting the work in. I think that a lot of people, they just join a new industry and immediately they want to be paid a lot, or they want to charge high prices. Now, it depends on what's your background, because if you have not done something that in your life you can say, I can teach this. Like when I started, I couldn't come from a restaurant and then go in and charge thousands of pounds. Who the heck would have paid me? Like, originally, who was I to pretend that?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because I'm passionate about sports, or I've always been a big fan of put the work in, become really good, and then charge when you're really good.
Yeah.
And at that point, there was no imposter syndrome. And there was a big turning point for us in our business where after 3 years of running events, so consistently, we ran 3 years of running events with 2, 3, 4 people, 5 people, but we became good at it. Yeah. And then I got a call to do an event with Les Brown in front of 1,000 people.
Oh, I love Les Brown. He is such a sunshine.
Oh my God. I was in the same room with Les Brown. I was 26 and I was like, oh my God, it's the best day of my life. But our business went that year from £20,000 to £120,000. Wow. Not because I suddenly became better overnight, but because more people, when I was ready, then saw me in what I could deliver. And even if it was the first time I was speaking in front of an audience of 1,000 people, I killed it.
Yeah.
But because I did already about 200 events before or 300 before, to get me to that point to say, I can handle that stage without feeling it wasn't my place, it wasn't my right to be there.
Bingo. I love it. So basically, you need to practice, you need to learn, you need to definitely upskill yourself to make sure that thing which you're going to educate people on is like on the top level. Right. Okay, we got that. Would you say this is your first pillar? Am I guessing right? Or this is just like...
well, if we're going, that is the first... If we're moving now that you have your thing, we can move on the pillar.
Okay,
because
the thing.
this is another big distinction that people don't make. It's like being good at what you do, it doesn't actually mean you're good in business.
There we go. I love that. Exactly. Yes.
Because you can be awesome in your skill. But if you don't have the business skills... Yes. And that's why it took me it took me 5 years to become really good at what I was. Yeah. And while working, it's not saying that I wasn't making any money in 5 years, but I wasn't definitely at the level to have a big business. Yeah. But then I could focus on learning the business skills.
Yes.
And so now that we are talking about business, let's look at the 4 pillars, which is the number 1 is clarity. Gotta know where you're going. I know it's basics and you're like, oh, there is nothing exciting here. But business is business. If you don't know where the hell you're going, you just end up following 5,000 different things.
Yes.
And not creating anything that actually is quality, that makes sense. Create anything of value for people. Then we are moving to the second pillar, which is your conversion. How the products that you create, the services that you create. How do you sell them? What's the relationship that you're building with your clients? So that's all goes into conversion. Mm-hmm. Then we are moving into the third pillar, which is your expansion. And now at this stage, that's where you focus on building your audience, building your followers, creating stability in your business, because then you have people that actually buy the things that you are creating, the offers that you are creating. And then we have the last pillar, which is your profile, which is how do you stand out? How having a profile which is a magnetic, where people comes and checks you out online, they sign up to your seminars, sign up to your webinars, they can immediately see from the get-go, you know your stuff.
Yeah, I see.
And then where you create a lot of opportunities, because your profile is what gives you more opportunity and it buys you access. That's what your profile does. Yeah. So if you follow these 4 things, and they are in order, like you can't build your profile before you have your strategy. You can't build you find a lot of people that they will build their audience before they have a good converting product.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I was working with a client and she had about 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
And I was really excited. I was like, okay, great. How much are you making a month? And she was like, well, $1,000 to $2,000 a month.
No way.
And I was like, well, hold on a minute. How could... I had 5,000 followers at the time, They were making $250,000.
There we go.
There is something off here.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because she focused so much on the audience building, which actually is what comes after the clarity and the creation of the offers.
I see.
And then she had this big audience, but she didn't have a way to monetize it effectively.
Love it.
Does it make sense? I know there is a lot, so we can dive deeper into the different pillars. I just want to give you an overview.
Yeah, I think it would definitely valuable to dive deeper, because Diana, she's asking, please may Simona repeat the 4 pillars for us. And I think it would be really, really valuable to actually also explain to people, because to me, it makes total sense. What means clarity? Like, how do you get clarity about, what is your message? How do you get clarity about what do you want to do? So the first pillar was the clarity.
Mm-hmm.
That was the conversion, right?
You got it. Second, conversion.
Third one was building the audience.
Expansion, building your audience, yes.
Yes, and the fourth one was building you as a brand, as personality.
Exactly. Building your profile.
Got it.
Well, you're certified. Now you're certified in the GTeX method, officially.
Off I go.
Done. We can wrap up the interview now. So yeah, these are the 4 pillars.
I love that. So what I see here, the danger when people spend all their time building their logos, building their social medias, building their branding and everything else, rather than working on how exactly do I want to help. And I mean, I was never similar like you, that business savvy or having all this great business knowledge when I started my business. But I realized, you're welcome, Diana. She says, thank you. You're welcome. But what I understood very quickly, that logo will never bring you money, right? You might have really hunky-dory, beautiful social media. It will be all dancing, singing for you. But if you're not really good at what you do, and also if you don't have that clear message of what you do and how you can help, then people will just look at you, will just like that, will say, yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And what's next?
Exactly. I mean, like, what people don't understand is that business is a people's is a people's field, is a people's job. What is a people's game? That was the word I wanted to find. Is a people's game.
Yeah.
Because a lot of time when we find people that get busy at the early stage. I'm not saying that there is not a place, but at the early stage, they get busier with their social media images,
Right.
their logos, their websites. Then they create this great fancy stuff. It's almost like having building a castle, but you have just the front of the castle. Then someone enters into the castle, and it's like the freaking backyard. And
I love the way you describe it.
And that's what you're building.
Yeah.
Instead of building the house starting from the foundation, because it's not sexy.
Yeah.
It's not sexy. What's sexy is look at how I look.
Yeah.
That's what's sexy, because that's what people see when you are an influencer. No, a lot of people will come into this industry looking at other people's to model.
Yes.
But you can't model what they're doing now, because what they're doing now is different from what they were doing when they started. And it's important to put the right attention at the right time of your business. So if you're starting out, it's important to build your strategy, that foundation in the business. Yeah. When you're getting busy in creating the funnels, when you're at the beginning and you're busy getting the website, you feel busy, but that doesn't generate any revenue, because now you're building something and you don't have enough people that are going to visit it. Yeah. You don't have a profile big enough for someone to land on it and say, yes, I want to buy and work with you.
Yes.
So that's why at the beginning, you got to talk to people, whether, of course, when I'm talking to people, I mean, even Messenger on social media is a platform to talk to people. Or people get busy because they want to hide. That's the reason why we do, because they don't feel comfortable in having that conversation and being seen, which is more comfortable to learn coding and build a freaking website rather than talk to a person, which is actually what will make your business work.
Exactly.
I mean, right?
I love that. This is so powerful. Exactly. But it's so easy to be busy with everything else. It's so easy to get lost in creating beautiful images. It's so easy. But I think you have to get at some point to the stage where I need help, and now somebody can do it for me. Because if you want to carry on doing that, it's great, but also you have to start making money from that. Because it's beautiful to have all that beautiful art on your wall, whether it is Facebook, on Instagram, or anything else, but it's not going to bring you money. You need to start bringing money. So how do you make it happen, right? So right now you're getting more clarity about how do you help, and your message is clearer. How do you actually make people buy from you? Because I'm sure right now audience is like, yeah, I've got 4 pillars. I need to make sure I'm clear on my message. Okay. How they can make sure people buy them?
Well, now we're going into different conversion strategies. And how do you get people buy from you? There are 1,000 different ways to get people to buy one of your product or services. I think that if we go back to the basics, money is always about product of what you are creating. So you want to focus more on the impact that you're making and the client first and the person who's in front of you, because then if you focus on them, then the money will follow. So of course you need to charge for it, but it's not your primary reason, because then there are people that, like I was doing at the beginning, I went too far the other way. It was just about the value, but I was never charging. And the reason why I'm like this now, because I had enough. I was like, I'm working 3 years, I'm making any money, and I'm working like 25 hours a day. And so it is going back to is what you're creating something valuable? Now, how do you know?
Exactly.
You ask. We said that this is nothing sexy, this is nothing fancy, but if you have someone that could be a potential client, you say, hey, I've got this product, I want to get your feedback. What do you think? That's how I made actually my first big week. It happened in this way. I had this idea of a product, and it was a program to help people finding their purpose,
right?
Which was the first part of the coaching business that I started running. And I had this idea of the product. I had just the outlines and the modules. And I went on a call with a friend of mine, and I said, hey, I'm launching this thing. Can you give me feedback? What do you think?
Yeah.
And he said, oh, I really like it. This is what you can do better. These are the things you can improve. I would like it more like that. I was like, oh, brilliant. I'm going to build this in this way. Thank you for the feedback. He said, well, can I join?
Oh. And you're like, okay, interesting.
All right. Sure. It's 500 quid. Great. Can I do 2 payments of 250? Yes, of course you can.
There we go.
Now, I had other 3 calls that were feedback calls lined up in the following days. And 4 out of 4 people bought that program. But the reason why they bought it is because I went in and I say, hey, is this valuable? Do you think is this valuable? Yeah. And I was then talking to the person that said, yes, this is valuable for me. I would love to join. So if you go back to it, whenever you're engaging with someone on social media, whenever you're meeting someone that can be a relevant person, you kind of say, hey, I've got this. I would love to hear your opinion if this is useful for you. If it is not, no problem. Great. Yeah. But if it is, we can explore ways in which we can work together. And I think that the problem is that people, they put so much pressure in what, they think what's really real is the fear of rejection and what it means to them if someone says no.
Bingo. Exactly. And you know what, Simona, you said it. It's beautiful how actually Howard, it's almost like he knew where you're going, because he says here, people will avoid things that make them uncomfortable, even if they are important. And this is so true. It's so true. It is uncomfortable to go and ask somebody, hey, what do you think about my program? Could you please try it, or just give me an opinion? It is uncomfortable to go and reach out to people, but actually, and I must say, this is what I shared yesterday on my live video. I said, the most expensive and yet free lesson I learned is the power of reaching out. You got to reach out, you got to ask for help, you got to ask for feedback in your case, you got to ask for, could you come and test it? Maybe you can pay less than usual, whatever else. And look how Maria, she's just like jumping in, she says, yes, Howard, but people also buy dreams, and we are the tool that help them to reach their dreams. And I love that. I really love that. It's really powerful, right? Because what you're selling to people, you're not selling them a problem, you're selling them actually a solution.
Absolutely. Exactly. What they buy, people buy for different reasons. They buy either because they always buy because they want to be in a better place. Like in this industry, they always buy because they want to be in a better place than they were before.
Yes.
Either they want to make money, make time, save time, or have a better quality of life. These are the real 5 reasons why people buy. Make money, make time, save time, improve your quality of life. That's one of the things I'm actually talking about on the webinar tonight.
Oh,
And I'll see you there. And so if when you are selling something, the people will buy because they want that solution. So they're buying the dream of what their life or their business could be after joining with you. That's what they really buy. But also they buy a piece of you.
Yes.
When people buy in this industry, either they will never tell you that. But if we all think about the people that we bought from, they were never people in this industry that we didn't like, or that we didn't have, or didn't want to have what they had, or didn't want to have a piece of them or a piece of their lifestyle.
Absolutely. Yes.
And that's why it's important for people to get to know you, to get to know your life. And it's not just about talking about your products and talking about your service, because this is just one part of it. The other part is actually that connection.
Yes.
And that's how you sell, by creating that connection, by giving that value, by asking people, hey, is this valuable for you? Then once you have that validated, then you can create all the funnels, you can do the paid advertisement, you can do the webinars, you can do the seminars. But otherwise, all these are a waste of time if you don't have a proof of concept that you know it works and converts and actually give people what they paid for.
Yeah. And money as well, because all that setup will cost you money too. So if you're not really clear yet, and also if you haven't learned how to sell it, how to connect with your audience, how to become relatable, how to become the person who actually they want to buy from, you're just going to just waste your money. That's really remarkable. We actually have Kim all the way from USA. It's good to have you with us. Hey,
Kim.
Thank you so much for joining, and also Sherry. And we also have actually Maria here. I didn't say her name before. And also Diana. Thank you so much for watching us, guys. I wonder what takeaways you have taken so far for you. How can you apply that in your life? What can you do about this so far? Because so far we discussed clarity, to be really clear about your message. What actually are you doing to other people? What solution you provide for them, right? What do you resolve for them? And as Simona just said, you either make money, save money, make time, save time,
and improve quality of life.
There we go. Improve quality.
It's a great memory.
Yeah, there we go.
I know you to remember these things so well. I'm rubbish at this. So I need to have them written somewhere, even if I teach them every day.
I'm practicing. I've got fish normally, but I'm practicing here. You see? So how can you apply that? Which one relates more to you? Are you helping people to save time? Are you helping people to make that time? Or maybe you helping people to make more money or save money? Or maybe it is about improving quality of their lifestyle, their life. So what can you do about that? Because next stage actually here is about you starting reaching out to them and selling yourself.
Absolutely.
I love that. This is so powerful. Okay. Here. Oh, late popping in recap 4 pillars if would. Thanks. Well, this is what we're doing right now. Actually. So first one is clarity. Second one is conversion. That's people, like you start selling. Mm-hmm. Third one we're just about to go into. It was, hang on. It was the systems, right?
Nope. Expansion.
Expansion.
There is the audience growth. Yeah.
That's right, audience growth. So not growing audience in the beginning. No, you grow the audience after you're clear and after you learn and practice how you can sell to people. And the fourth one is actually building you. Now we're building your brand. Now we're making you stronger.
Exactly.
Right?
Perfect.
Whew, past exam. Okay, so what's the third one then?
So third one, now we're talking about the expansion, which is the audience building. And the reason why it's important to do it after, because now that you have the right product and you have the strategy, you have the clarity, you can actually build the audience that you want. Okay. Then your audience is not a random number. They're actually people.
Yeah, exactly. The humans.
And you can have 100,000 people following you. And these 100,000 people are not your ideal client and they don't give a damn about you.
Yes.
So now it becomes a vanity number. So numbers are important because, of course, the more people will follow you, the more your business will be stable. The more clients you will have, the more money you will make, the bigger the impact that you will make because you will help more lives. But it's important as well as looking at the quality of these people. And that's why when you're looking at to grow your audience, then it's important to look at, first of all, instead of being in every social media platform, everyone is like, oh, I feel so overwhelmed by social media. Well, you feel overwhelmed by social media because probably you're doing about 7 different platforms at the same time.
7? Do we have 7?
We have more than 7. We have hundreds. We have hundreds of social media platforms. Some of them they are more used, some of them they are less used. But if you're focusing on, let's say, the 5 or 6 biggest ones, there is Facebook, there is LinkedIn, there is Instagram, there is Twitter, there is YouTube, TikTok. We got TikTok. I know you love TikTok. No, you don't. You hate it.
I don't get it. I just don't understand it. To me, it's like I just don't understand. But I think what we need about social media is really powerful, because when we actually now start spreading our time across God knows how many social medias, which are not even that powerful, because if you Google anybody, even just everybody who's watching like us right now, please Google your name. Right? Please go on Google and Google your name, and you will see that the first of all will come out probably Facebook, LinkedIn. If you are on YouTube, you will have YouTube with your name as well, Twitter and Instagram, and then everything else.
Yep.
So why to bother about all those little unimportant social media? Why to waste time on them? I mean, I don't really get Twitter. To me, it's like Twitter, I don't want to swear, but I call it slightly different. But yes, Twitter. I just don't get it, right? I just really don't get it. It's like retweet, okay, I'm going to read, but I just don't get it. But I think fall in love with a platform which you love and see which platform works for you. That's my personal opinion. But what would you say about that?
Very similar suggestion. So I think it's a crossroad between what you said about focusing on what you love and then focusing on where your clients are.
Yeah.
Because if like one of the companies that we run is a sales training for recruitment agencies, which my business partner manages. We have 3 companies that we run in the GTeX group. And in that particular company, if my business partner, Ben, loves spending time on Facebook, he will get no business. Because the HR directors and decision makers that we're looking for, we're finding them on LinkedIn. So you will find that my business partner is on Facebook. He will just use this for his drum and bass. His drum and bass DJ. He has shares in a drum and bass label that he manages and help them with their social media and so on. But if you go on Facebook, you will not see stuff about business from him. He will just look like a drum and bass DJ. Now, moving on to LinkedIn, there is nothing about drum and bass DJing. There is everything about the work that we do in the corporate field.
Right.
There is all content related to HR directors, HR managers, sales training. In particular, we specialize in sales training for millennials in the recruitment industry. So all the content is around that. And so it's important to focus on, first of all, which platforms are your ideal client? And then see, okay, between all these platforms where my ideal clients are, which one is the one that I enjoy the most?
There we go. Yeah.
And then go all in with that.
Yeah.
And I want to use a metaphor to explain the social media game, which can be really helpful for people. Because people think about social media as posting. I'll post up, I'll do a Facebook Live, I'll do my video, I'll put my picture, I'll put my quote with my pretty face, and there is like an inspirational quote. And that's for them what social media is. That's bollocks. That's what social media is. This is a part of social media.
I love it.
Imagine social media as like a shop, right?
Right.
Your posts, your videos, they are the front of the shop. Is where you put your best stuff for people to come in and see, oh, I would love to have a peek inside. And then the game, like shops will not make any money. Of course, right now shops are closed and many shops are closed at the moment of the interview. So it might not be the best analogy, but they think that we are not in coronavirus time right now and shops are actually bloody open. So the shops are open. And then if you stop there at the window, the shops will not make any money. They don't make money from people looking at the window.
Exactly. Yeah, you need to make them come in. Make them
Inside.
enter. How do you do it?
Exactly. So now the thing is that now the inside of the shop of social media is your messaging platforms, whether it's LinkedIn messages, whether it's Instagram private messages, whether it's a messenger on Facebook, or whether it's private messages and private DMs on Twitter. These are where the business happens. So the game is to monitor who is engaging with my content on the front end, and then build a relationship with them and reach out to them there on the different social media platform, there as a personal interaction. And that's where the money is made. That's also where the impact is made, because the moment they like that post, what's going to happen? 5 seconds later, they like another post, and they like another post. So you think you're making an impact with the post that you're making. I am not. Very rarely, because they will have already forgotten about you. We are not as important to other people's life. We are important in our own world.
I totally agree with you. And the amount of times people are so focusing on how it's going to look like, it's not the most perfect. I'm not sure if it's the right timing. I'm not sure I'm ready. I'm like, people don't even care. People will say, yeah, that's good. No, it's you spend 3 hours making a video for 5 minutes. And some people procrastinate for too long before they post something. And I mean, you should make sure it's valid. You should make sure it's clear. You should make sure it's obviously, makes sense and it's sellable. But when do you start? I mean, when do you become perfect?
Perfectionist. My business partners always said this, and we're actually going to print some T-shirts which is a perfection is the killer of dreams.
Good.
And we'll have, and this doesn't mean create shit. Pardon the French, sorry. But this doesn't mean like create something which is not good quality.
Yes.
That's different.
Yes.
But it means that everything can be improved. There is always going to be a version 2. There is always going to be a version 3. There is always going to be a version 4.
Yep.
And even at any stage, like I'm doing the webinar tonight. I've done 500, 600 webinars by now. I lost count. But still, because I'm doing something new for the webinar I'm doing this evening, the giveaway resources that I'm creating, they are just in a Google document.
Yeah.
So the information are there, but there is no fancy design. There is no that. It's a giveaway that I'm giving to people at the webinar. But I don't, it's version 1. And I'm comfortable with the fact it's saying it's not perfect. The content there is good and is useful, and that's what it matters. Then there's going to be a version 2 with a design. There's going to be a version 3 with even a better design. There's going to be a version 4 with more resources and even a better design.
Good. That's powerful, exactly. Because if you look at anything, I mean, how many times Google changed their logo? How many times Coca-Cola changed their logo? And they're here for years and decades, right? How many cars got improved engines? Right? Everything gets evolved and improved. So let's not hang on to, okay, I need to make it perfect. Let's just start posting. Let's just make sure we share some value. But value is actually with the message. There is something.
And then contact the people. Exactly. Like you put the value in your message, in what you're saying, in the content that you provide. And then you reach out to people that are engaging with that content. If you do that consistently, you have a nice business because you will never run out of leads.
Love that. We have here an example from Kim, and I wonder if other people also would like to share what they do actually. So Kim says, helping them bring more balance and flow into their lives. So I know Kim, she's a coach. I'm not sure, Kim, could you remind please what type of coach you are? Because I can't really remember. But if you could remind, that would be great. So on Kim's example, how would you, for example, say what she could do? What could be her potential, messaging to people saying, hi, do you want me to improve your life? Like, sometimes as soon as you like accept somebody's friendship, you receive this cold calling message. And this is, you know what I mean? This is killer.
Yeah.
Seriously, because right now, I'm sure people are thinking that way. I need now to take a stranger and text him, hello, buy from me. Mm-hmm. Right? But it kills everything. It's the biggest fear people have, right? So when you say start messaging people, start reaching out to them, this is where the business is, how they can do it.
You know what? Let me before I move into that, let me just talk about something around like reaching out, and I think that we live in a society where people are becoming sensitive about everything. Like right now, you can't say anything anymore. Everyone gets like, "Who did
Just
he
like
just say
online.
that?" Is that? But come on, chill out a bit. Like relax a bit more. There is nothing wrong, in my opinion, to reach out to someone and then sell them straight away. There
Mm,
is nothing wrong. Now,
mm.
the chances of that is gonna work are very little,
Yep.
but
Exactly.
there is nothing wrong. Like if I'm looking at the clients that we get in the corporate side, they're all cold calls. We
Yes.
build a reach out on social media, we call them up, and there is nothing wrong in sending a message and say, "Hey, are you interested in this?"
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
and no, sometimes you receive there are people say, "Oh, I'm tired of people coming and selling me on social media." Don't be in business. Because if you're tired to be sold to, it means that you're tired to sell, and probably you're not really good at selling.
Mm.
Because it generally is like more your resistance. I love people selling to me. I love it. And the reason why, not because I'm going to buy every single time. Sometimes like, oh, this is a bit of a rubbish message. But I will never be disrespectful to them because it's their business.
That's true.
You know, sometimes you receive some messages that are like, oh, stop spamming me, stop sending me this. Like, yo, you are in business too.
Yeah.
I'm not. So that's one side that I want, and my personal belief. Everyone has different belief, different spectrum of how they can take like the selling part. Now, what you want to do when you're engaging with someone is to generate a conversation. So, for example, if they like one of your videos or they comment on one of your videos, what you want to bring is the context in which that first interaction happened.
Mm.
So the message will be, "Hey, I saw you liking the video. What did you think about it?"
Right. Love
Right?
that.
And
It's
so,
gentle. Yeah. It's sweet. It's gentle. It's just neutral. It's like, hey, thank you for liking the video. Thank you for being there. What did you like about it? I like that. That's good.
uh, and then you say, "How great! I like the video." Some people will not respond because they would ignore the message. Some people will say, "Oh, I like the video." Some people will just say, "Oh, I like the video, but I didn't listen to anything because I was just scrolling my feed," because that's what people do, right?
Exactly.
So, like, because I wanted to support, and that's fine. Thank you for the support.
Yes.
And then I'll say, "Hey, I have more resources on this topic. So I have more resources on helping people live a better life, or I have more resources that can help people improve their health and well-being. Would you be interested in receiving some of them?"
Wonderful, wonderful. And this is beautiful because now you're offering in a very nice way. And actually, Kim answered here. Kim says she's a life coach and business resolving obstacles. So in her case, in that case, let's say she posted a video and somebody liked that video, she can say, thank you for liking the video. And I have more materials on how you can resolve.
Yeah, no, before is thank you for liking. You want a response immediately before pitching something else. So that's what works best.
Mhm.
Um, is hey, did you like the video? I said, so you like the video. Thank you very much for the support. What did you think about it?
Powerful.
And that's the first message. I just want to engage in a conversation.
Powerful.
Then, if they say something that is related, hey, I really like the part when you said this. Say, hey, you know what? I have more resources on this topic. Would you like me to send them to you?
Powerful. Beautiful. Thank you so much for
Because
this.
what you're having now is permission from
Yes.
them. So yes, please. Like what they're saying, yes, I'm interested. Is a sign I'm raising your hand. Or they will say, no, you know what? At this point, I'm not interested. It's
Yeah,
okay. Thank you very much for letting me know. I wish you a fantastic rest of the day.
exactly.
And then when they say, oh yes, I'm interested in this, I often give them two options. I say, here is a free resource that I have. You can find it out. And here is a program that I'm running.
Mm-hmm.
Check them out. Because I want them to see that there is something they can pay if their need is strong enough to
Mm-hmm.
learn about it and pay.
Yeah.
Or I want to give them an option to say, hey, why don't we build a relationship? So they will then, at the point, there will be like a video that I will send them, or a download, or a PDF, or whatever. Like if you don't have an email list, you can just like record a video on YouTube or your Facebook and send them the link to that.
Mm-hmm.
What you want at that point is to build that relationship with them,
Wonderful.
and to really test the water. What topics are they interested in? Because that's what I'm looking for.
Mm.
What topics are you interested in? Because if you're interested in the topic, it might be that is one of the problems that you want to solve, or the things that you're interested in, which you might be interested also in spending some money with it.
Love that.
So that's what I'm testing. And then
and the truth is, when people have a problem and when you provide them a solution, they will be willing to spend the money because you're selling them an outcome and they want the outcome. They just don't know how to get to that outcome. So when you bring them, hey, I can do it for you, I can help you, I can somehow whatever do, guide, coach, whatever else, they want that. But you have to be really open and just willing to just bring it on a plate, like, here, there it is, there it is. Love that. Really nice way, in a nice way.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to go around. Oh, let's jump on a call. Let's get to know each other. It's like, why? Why would I do that? If I don't know you enough, or if I'm not interested. Of course, I'm talking from my perspective. Everyone has a different personality.
Yeah.
That's also important. There are some people that connect with people in a different ways. And the approach that I use will work with some people and will push away others, because others, they will need a way more either softer approach, or they will need to follow you for years before making a buying decision. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm me. So, and it's important for me to do something that is true to myself, with the awareness that I'm going to push away some people, and that's fine. I'm comfortable with that. And the awareness that I'm going to attract other people that will resonate a bit more in the way that I work.
Love that. And this is so powerful because you can't be likable by everybody. And you shouldn't concentrate on everybody because it's not possible, right? We all have some people whom we dislike, and there could be even those really big motivational speakers. We don't click with all of them, right? And we dislike some movies, we dislike some drinks, so it's absolutely normal. It's quite interesting what Howard here says. I saw an interview with a very well-known entrepreneur, and he said he always makes time to reply to people and thank people who contact him. And this is good. This is really good. This is really powerful. But Simone, what would you say about where do you find the time?
You create the time.
Good answer.
Good answer. You create the time. I mean, it's your business, and no one forced you to do it. If you don't want to focus on what's important for your business, then go and get a job. I have very little compassion for it, because it is a tough gig. Running a business is sold as, oh my God, all your problems will go away. No, that's where your problems start.
Exactly.
Like, you run a business going into the awareness that is tough. Yes, you can do things in your own way. Yes, you can be in control of the things that you're going to put out. You can do something that is true to you. You can really live your purpose. I love it. But it comes with a price.
Yes.
And the price is high. The price is high of, you create a freedom, but you work for that freedom.
Yes.
You work really hard for that freedom. And also, people run businesses for different reasons. And so, like, I want to create a $1 billion business. That's my goal with the businesses that we're running. So I'll put the necessary amount of work to build that. But that's my dream. But that's my dream. Someone else's dream is that I would just want to have a nice business. I'm earning a few grand a month. My family is taken care of, and I'm happy with that. I don't need the extra stress of the team, of the big business, and that's okay. You follow the dream that is true to you. So it's important that when you're creating your business, you focus. Like, there is a lot of time to be put in. And it's important to engage with people and to respond to people as one of the biggest priorities, because your biggest priority of your business is not creating a fancy social media post. It's to get clients and serve clients.
Yes.
That's what if you don't get them, you don't serve them. And so the social media posts are something to get to that point. But if you spend all your time in doing all the other stuff and not actually responding to people, not creating conversation, not improving your product and services and serve your clients in the best way, then you're not running a business. You are keeping busy with an illusion.
That's true. That's true.
That's what I would say. And then to wrap up this, then you arrive to the point when you say, well, where do you find the time? Then the business makes some money, invest it, and grow in a team.
There we go. Exactly. I was waiting for this. I was like, please say it. Please say it.
And then we got to that point. I mean, I started doing everything myself, and with my business partner and I, we're working, and then now we have a team of 15 people.
There we go. Exactly. Yeah. You just have more people who help you. That's it. Really powerful.
Exactly.
Love that. You see, for those who just joined us, and we have also Ege and Daniel and Mark, and it's quite a long list to scroll down. So thank you so much for joining us. What we were speaking today about 4 pillars, how to actually monetize and start making money from your skills, whether it is your coaching or a speaking business or any other expert business. And first one was about having crystal clear message, right? What exactly do you solve? What do you resolve? What do you fix, really? Second one was, let me just go back. Second one was, what was the word you used? Conversion. It was the conversion. Yes, there we go. It was the conversion. How actually you start selling. The third one was the audience, the people, when you actually
expansion with the audience. Yeah.
Remembering the words. Expansion, exactly. And now we are moving to the fourth one, which is all about you, your business. So could you please elaborate more on the fourth one? What is the fourth pillar? Do you think it's most important?
No, they're all equally important.
Good.
They're all equally important. It's like you can't really have a great business. A great business. You can have a nice little business, but not sustainable if you have like 3 out of 4. Then the last part is the profile, and the profile is how are you seen as? Like what's your positioning in the market?
Yeah.
And your profile then comes down to a few things. So one is like who are the people that you associate yourself with? So like there is a reason why I did a lot of events with, like I did events with Les Brown, I did events with Gary Vaynerchuk, I did an event with Dr. John DeMartini, I interviewed Frank Kern from my podcast and so on. The reason is that one, I love their work and I've been following them for years. And the second reason is that my credibility grows because they see me associated with those people. They're like, oh, well, I mean, it's not going to be maybe like that, but it's not going to be even that stupid. So,
yeah.
And that's what people think.
Yeah.
So the association either with personalities or brands, the places where you speak, where you're seen.
Yes.
And then we are going into the publications where you're featured on. And then with the awards that you're winning. So that's part of the profile. Then the 4 parts within the profile are publications, speaking, awards, and association, which are the 4 things that then make a profile really magnetic, really attractive, and immediately communicate to someone, I can trust you. I can, if I pay you some money, I can feel safe, because that's what we're creating. It's all perception at the end of the day. What is that? It's a perception game, right?
Yeah.
And it's creating a perception that is a feeling of security and safety to invest some money with you. Now, of course, you got to back up the perception with your actions and with the results. But on the front end, what they need is the perception, because that's how they make the decision.
Love that. And I think what you said there is really, really powerful, because, I mean, you were, as you said earlier, you were speaking next to Les Brown and also next to, did you speak also with Gary Vee? Or you were organizing events with Gary?
We did an event. Yeah, we organized an event with Gary Vee.
Yeah, but you also were writing for the Forbes, is it right?
Yeah, I have a column on Forbes magazine. I have a column on Entrepreneur magazine, the Huffington Post, been on Sky. Like, I like my media game.
Which is really amazing. But this is the thing. I mean, right now people probably think, okay, right now I just need to start working on myself and put myself out there, possibly in the magazines, maybe on the podcast, maybe on the stage, whatever else. But then how do I do it? Right? Because people freeze. Again, back to what Howard said, like literally recently, people don't want to do uncomfortable stuff. So what would you advise to people who really, really want to build themselves, but really, really feel scared?
Now, the media game is, it comes to a point where you already have these 3 other pillars. Because you can be featured if you don't have something solid, but you might not be featured for the things that you want to be known for. And also there might not be enough credibility around you if you don't have a bit of social media presence or other publication to go into TV or the major ones.
Yeah.
Because what they're going to look at, they're going to Google you and check you out.
Exactly.
So if you don't have at least something that can say, if I get this person on my show, or if I get this person to write it, they're going to say something that makes sense. That's the first step.
Yes.
But then you arrive to the point when you're saying, okay, I've got a nice business, I got my product, I know what my strategy is, I got a bit of a session, I got a bit of an audience. How can I increase that audience and increase my profile? And that's where you're looking at the publications and that point. And when you're starting, if you don't have already other features, start small. Start with a really local publication. It's really easy to go into local publications.
Love that.
You just got to ask them, hey, I've got this idea of an article I want to write. Like, it's a small publication. Probably it's going to be read by 5-10 people. It's like, don't even expect a really large number of readers. But what they do is that now when someone Googles you, they will see you there.
Yeah.
So I played this game for past, really focused on the past 5 years. Wow. So if someone Googles my name, Simone Vincenzi, the first 15 pages of Google, they got stuff about me now.
It's true. You really are all of you really are.
It took 5 years of really writing a lot of articles, a lot of interviews, a lot of podcasts, having my own show and so on. But the PR game is for the long game. It's not for the short game. The PR game doesn't get you the clients. The PR game increases your kind of status in the industry. I don't even want to use that word, but your profile in the industry. Yeah. So that's why you play that at that point. But you start small, and then once you have a few smaller ones, then you can approach a bigger one and say, hey, this is an example of what I write. I would love to write about this. Would you be interested?
Wonderful. Wonderful. And then again, gives you credibility, lets them to fall in love with you, with your message and everything else. Because I must say, lots of people reach out to me very often and say, oh my God, I really love what you speak about. I really love your message. I really love your values. And I'm thinking, am I even clear on my values? Because you kind of have them, but you don't really think mention them but it's quite impressive how people pick on that. And quite impressive how people observe you and how they pick on, what you're all about. Because when you're in your bubble, in your business, and you do all the social media and you post and you talk, very rarely you actually think about, what are your core values or what are your core things you want to give. You want to help. Yeah. And people reach out to you and they say like, oh my God, I love that. You think, really? It's quite interesting, but it's true. It just shows once more. Once you really click with them, because now you have your audience and you click with them, you are relatable to them. You provide for them a solution and something, what you're fixing, they're going to buy from you anything. Anything.
Anything. Because then it creates a relationship. Yeah. It creates an element of trust. It creates an element of, I know you're going to take good care of me.
Yes.
Because that's what we want. If I spend some money, I want to be taken care of.
Yeah.
I want to know that the money I spent, whether it's a lot, whether it's small, is well spent. And that's what I care about. That's what people care about. Am I going to have a good experience? Am I going to be taken care of? Am I actually going to get what I paid for?
Yeah, exactly. Because everybody wants to get value for money, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody knows you get what you pay for. So when people say oh, this coach is very expensive, I'm like, well, good, because that means they can take you to the next level. But if you go to somebody who's really, really cheap, you know what they're going to take you to? They will still help you, but how much? How far they're going to take you? Simple as that. But Simona, I'm not sure if you have noticed or not, but it's been a while, and I'm like, oh my God.
I got probably my wife is gonna throw a shoe at me in a moment. Because
I'm not sure where the time flew, but seriously, with you, it was just like 2 minutes, and I really would love to hear from people whether they enjoyed it or not. But I already have here feedback from Diana. She says, "Thanks so much, Simone. Your methods are really clear, and your insights very helpful." Well, Diana, what can I say? You must join the webinar, which Simona today is doing at 8 p.m. Yes, at 8 p.m. The link is literally below this video on YouTube and also on Facebook. I'm definitely going because I'm all curious. I like to try and test things from, what my guests are bringing to the show. And I'm always...
No pressure.
No pressure. But I do like it because, it's also my way to give back, to support you and also to come and be there for you because, I really enjoy this. I know you're going to bring lots of value because I know you for a while now, but I do know you'll be so fabulous. You were great. I really enjoyed that. And
I'm blushing now. I'm feeling pretty hot. God,
my
ego was like, thank you.
Oh, no, you're not. You're loving it. Just
No,
like
you're not fabulous. You're just like you're just like, it's like,
you're
nah,
just
yeah.
born fabulous. Yes, and Maria also says it
Thank
was
you.
a
You
great
too.
interview. So thank you so much. Thank you everybody who joined us. I hope you really took a lot of takeaways from this interview. But the most important thing, it is about application, right? You can watch lots of videos, you can read lots of books, you can go to lots of seminars like Simone, like I did as well. But until you start applying everything in your business, nothing gonna take it to the next level. So this is really important. Simone, if obviously I will post all the links to your social media so they can contact with you. What would be the best way to get in touch with you apart of what I'm going to post? Is there anything else you would like to share with the audience before we finish off?
Yeah, I think if you go to my website, which is gtex.org.uk, so gtex.org.uk, then on the front page of the website, there is a test that you can take. Is a expert checklist. As I mentioned at the beginning of the interview, is about at the beginning, like at every stage of your business, to be clear about what your actions are, because that's how you find the time. You understand what are your priorities. But it's difficult to find, like it's very confusing. When you're running a business, when you are in it,
yes,
everything looks important. And I need to have other people to remind me what's important, because we are all in the same boat.
yeah.
When you are in it, you need just to step back and look at where do I spend my time. And that's what the expert checklist was designed for. So it's a checklist that you can download. It gives you a PDF, which you can fill up. And then it will help you identify, first of all, at which stage are you in your business? Hobby, expert, influencer, or authority.
Wow.
And based on where you are, it will give you a checklist of things that are important for you in your business. And you will put, these are the one that I have, these are the one that I have to work on. So you don't move to the next one until you have completed those. And that's how the checklist has been designed. It's been downloaded by thousands of people with incredible reviews. So I know it will be really helpful for your business.
Wow, this is so wonderful. Actually, we'll do it myself as well. Just out of curiosity, I'll receive it all good. So thank you so much for sharing that. And Simona, it was a wonderful time with you. I'm really, really grateful for you taking this time, joining us, sharing lots of value of yours, and also this amazing PDF, which everybody just needs to jump on your website and download.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun. And thank you everyone that joined. Thank you for inviting me, and I hope to see you soon and to connect with you. Like, reach out to me. I always respond to messages, so reach out to me, and I'm happy to answer any question that you have.
Oh, check out this accountability. Now we have this live on the video, right? You just promised to answer to everybody. Guys, let's test Simona. Let's record
5,000 messages at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Let's bombard him with messages. Let's check him out.
Thanks. Cheers.
You said it. Kim also says, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, for all your beautiful messages, for your participation, for your attention being with us until the very end. Once more, thank you, Simone. It was wonderful. We'll see you very soon. Hopefully, we'll give you a cuddle next time we see each other face to face. But right now, we had to do it. By the way, where are you based? Let's tell
London.
London. That's right. Yeah, because we usually meet in London meetings.
Yes.
Okay, so in that case, we'll see you next time, probably in London again, face to face. But until then, see you live in the virtual world.
In the virtual world. Bye.
See you, everyone.